Now, real people, real opinions. Nighttime Talk with Niall Boylan.
Ireland's classic hits radio.
Hi, Niall. I'm in my late 40s. I've been dating a woman for 2 years. She is successful, works in an IT company and has a grown-up daughter. Last week, she went for a girls' night out into a bar in Harcourt Street with 3 of her friends. The next day, she woke up early and went for a jog. One of her friends drove by and wanted to return her purse. She asked me if my girlfriend had recovered after the lines she took. I was puzzled by what she meant by this. She went on and explained that my girlfriend and one of her other friends took cocaine. I was shocked, but didn't say anything. When my girlfriend returned, I mentioned this to her, and she explained that she does cocaine and assured me that she had no problems with addiction. She didn't think to bring this up when we first met because it's something she does very rarely, a few times a year, according to her. And more importantly, many of her friends and co-workers use it with no problem, she said. I do understand it's her life, and she can do what she wants. But I'm a bit concerned. I've read news stories about cocaine use becoming common in Ireland, but never knew the extent of it. I grew up in a middle-class area in the UK and moved to Ireland as a teenager. The hardest drug any of my family or friends or close acquaintances ever did was weed, and that's only trying it as opposed to consuming it regularly. Looking at her, I have to say that she does not at all fit the preconceived notions of a hard drug user. She dresses in expensive clothes, drives a nice car, went to Trinity and lives in an affluent area of Dublin. She also earns a lot more than I do. I asked my brother, who's a drugs counsellor, for advice, and he says that I should run for the hills because he knows many clients who started out with their drugs use under control, just like her, but over time their life spiralled out of control. He thinks it's delusional for anyone to claim they use cocaine recreationally. Is he right, or should I not be judgmental and I just accept this? That comes in from Paul. I've changed his name, obviously. Now, it's an interesting one, isn't it? When you think about it. What would you do if you found drugs in your partner's handbag, their purse, or you found out from a friend they were doing lines and you approached them about it? Somebody that you love, somebody that you trusted, and they never just shared this bit of a secret. And they said, oh no, I do it now and again. It's just recreational. You know, it's not a big deal. I'm not addicted, like. But according to the counsellor that he went to, his brother, he said, run for the hills. There's no such thing as just doing it recreational. It'll all go out of control. And I've only ever had that experience once in my life with a colleague many, many years ago, who again said it was recreational. Within 2 or 3 years, his life spiraled out of control because of cocaine. Thankfully, he got his life back together again, but his life spiraled out of control because of cocaine. And he lied to me on so many occasions saying he didn't do drugs, etc., etc., etc. But because they do, that's what drug users do, they lie. But what would you do in that situation? Would you hang on in there? Or would you give them an ultimatum and say, listen, it's either me or the drugs? Or would you just say, nah, I'm done with this? He's only with her. Well, he's with her 2 years. It's a long time, isn't it? 2 years, by the way, and not to tell him is a problem as well, I think, in a relationship. Clearly, there's been a secret kept in the relationship if she hasn't told him before now that she's doing lines of cocaine when she's out with her mates. Let me know what you think. The number's 087 188 0008. Would you run for the hills? Or would you hang on in there?
Ireland's classic hits radio.
Alice here on Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. How you doing, Alice?
Great, great now, great.
It's a great name, Alice, isn't it? It always reminds me of that Smokey song. Alice, who the is Alice? I'm sure you're well.
After my grandmother.
I'm sure you're well used to that. You have heard that before, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Alice, what would you do in this situation?
First of all, my problem is why was he rooting her purse in the first place? What was he doing in there? Do you know what I mean? Has he trust issues?
No. The problem was that when the purse was returned by the friend who had picked it up, she said, I hope your girlfriend has recovered after the lines she took last night. So that kind of made him then suspicious. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he probably wouldn't have done something like that, but he was suspicious because the girlfriend, or her girlfriend, basically let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the girlfriend now has issues as well there. Why would she have said that? If she was supposed to be a friend
Jason, Alice, I think you're looking at all the wrong areas. You're more concerned about him breaching her trust, the girlfriend snitching on her. What about her? The fact that she's been with him for 2 years taking cocaine and she's never told him. Is that not a problem?
Was she? What have we proof she was taking it?
Yeah,
It's the
she admitted it.
girlfriend's word.
She admitted it. She said it.
She admitted she took it?
Yeah.
I tell you, Niall, it's so common today. Like, do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, if you were to discard everybody now that you know that they did it,
but
we all know someone that did it. You know what I mean?
But Alice, are you in a relationship? Are you in a relationship? Are you?
Yes.
Okay. How would you feel if your other half turned around to you and said, yeah, I take a bit of cocaine, and sorry I never told you before, but I just do it recreationally?
I want to know where he was getting the money to buy it.
And why he wasn't giving it to you.
That's not a cheap habit, is it?
No. Alice, would that be the least of your concerns? So your priority be where you're getting the money to pay for this habit of yours. Would you not be concerned that he's a drug addict?
I suppose I would.
Yeah, of course you would.
You would.
Yeah.
You would. You wouldn't. You would be stupid if you didn't.
Yeah.
But no one's forcing it up his nose if he's taking it.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't know what I'd do about it anyway, but I wouldn't leave him for it.
No, sir. You wouldn't?
Definitely wouldn't leave. No, God, no.
No. So you'd hang on in there, would you?
Yes, and try and sort something out and get him, some sort of help with it. But, I wouldn't walk away from a relationship because of it.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, hang on for a second. Let me go to John as well. Stay there, Monica and Kathy. I'll be with you in a second too. John, you're on Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. How you doing, John? John! Hello! Earth calling John! John is not there. Monica, you're on Ireland's Classic Hits Radio.
Hi. Hi, Niall. How are you doing?
I'm good, Monica. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Better now that I've spoke to you.
Oh, well, thank you very much indeed. I'm glad I've cheered up your evening.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So what would you do if? Well, I think it'd be unlikely that you're going to find this out. But what would you do if you found out your other half was taking cocaine and didn't tell you about it?
Well, for a start, he shouldn't have been in her handbag.
What is wrong with you people?
There you go.
Is there something wrong with you
I
all?
finished it all, yes. What was wrong with him for the past 2 years that he didn't cop it? And I'm sure he's got a skeleton in his cupboard too. I'm sure he don't tell her everything.
Jesus. Yeah. You and Alice should go out together sometime. Obviously, they're not both singing from the same hymn sheet.
Well, what was wrong with
But
him?
Monica, he's with a girl 2 years. He clearly loves the girl if he's with her 2 years, right? And now he finds out she never told him she's snorting cocaine.
I know, but what was wrong with him that he didn't spot it?
Because she was good and she kept it a secret.
Well, she must have been good at it then. She should be in the films or something. She shouldn't be with him.
Maybe that's why she went with him in the first place.
I know.
Oh, mad in the head. I swear it's our full moon out tonight. Well, hang on. Let me go back to John. Sorry, John, you're there now.
Hi, sir. How are you?
How you doing, John? You're listening to these two, and they said he shouldn't have been looking in her purse, and he shouldn't mind his own business.
I think two of them on as well, to be honest with you. I just bring you back there, a good while back there. That's like a year back. I was with this girl, and I found out she was doing it, and I said to her research with her earlier on, once a cokehead, always a cokehead. And I really believe that.
Oh, yeah.
And I gave her so many times to give her up and cop herself on and what have you not. And she didn't. And not only was she spending her money, she was spending our money, and she was asking me for money to get it. And
the money part wouldn't be the problem. Well, it would be a problem if you didn't have much money. But the money part wouldn't be the problem for me. The problem for me is that firstly, she's kept this secret and you're supposed to be communicating as a couple. But secondly, she's doing illicit drugs.
Oh, well, look, illicit drugs, they're doing them like it's like smoking these days, the way things are going on. But what really mattered to me is that she didn't want to give her up, and she didn't, and that's why I said once a cokehead, always a cokehead. And And that's, I stand by that now. You know.
There you go. Well, there you go, Alice. Once a cokehead, always a cokehead.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
gee.
Maybe she went with
The
him in
drugs
first
expert,
place
Alice.
because-
Yeah. Sorry,
No,
go.
maybe she was coked out of her head the first night she met him, and that's the only reason she was with him. You know, but people see some people through beer bottles. She was seeing them through coke bottles.
You make excuses all you like, but here's the thing: you're with a cokehead, and he's always going to be a cokehead, and that's the fact, and that's the matter. And you can say what you like.
But isn't it bizarre, John, that both Monica and Alice's biggest concern was, what was he doing looking in her purse?
Yeah.
That was their concern. How dare he look in her purse? And she can do what she wants.
Well,
Sorry, Monica, what are you saying?
I bet he was looking in her phone too. He should butt out and just carry on.
And
It's
just walk blindly along into the relationship, yeah?
Yeah. Well, it's just like somebody.
That's what you should have
Yeah,
done.
it's just like
what's the
somebody marrying an alcoholic and then
Oh,
expecting
sorry
them
about
to
that.
change.
Yeah, you should get rid of her. Because at the end of the day, anybody...
He
that-
shouldn't get rid of her. She should get rid of him.
No, but she's the one that's doing the coke.
Well, I know, but he's
I think
snooping
you've got the wrong
around.
end of the stick here. I think you've got the wrong
he's
end of the stick here, girl.
He's invading her privacy too.
No, it's not. No, hold on for a minute. When a couple is together, it should be that they're together. And I'm only to explain on my side of the story there. When I was with this girl, she was doing cocaine, and she shouldn't have been doing cocaine. You know, we were having a great relationship up to that, and then I found out, and I said it to her, you better shut up. It's not going to do you any, good. It's not going to do any good for you. And she couldn't give it up. And she was getting her every week, and she was getting... So, why would you hang around for that kind of carry on?
I know, but it didn't harm him up to now. So why should it harm him for to stay with her?
Oh, so what he doesn't know won't hurt him. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
But he shouldn't be snooping.
He shouldn't be snooping, no.
Okay, well, hang on. Well, let me get Kathy in on this as well. Kathy, you're in Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. How you doing, Kathy?
Hi, Niall. How are you doing?
Good, Kathy. Nice to talk to you. I'm blown away by the attitude of everybody here tonight. It's really good.
Well, I'm listening to the arguments anyway, and I mean, one thing I would say is it has become readily available. I mean, I have some friends who don't have kids, and I know that is something that they do. My husband is really, really against it. Like, he said to me that he would divorce me if he ever found out that I did cocaine.
And if you didn't have your husband, let's just say, and I know you love him to bits and everything else, but if you didn't have your husband, would you be tempted to go down that route? Would you give it a try, like?
I mean, I've seen what it's done to a really close friend of mine. It's very Moorish, she would say. She would say that it was very hard for her to stop taking it after she took it for a long time. So if, say, I was with someone and they did do it, say, yes, definitely would say the money is a concern. It's expensive, but it's also, you don't know how it's going to affect you. Recreational or not, I'd be worried for them. I mean, if they're like, oh, I only do it on a Saturday night, I'm like, yeah, but what if a Saturday turns into a Sunday and a Monday and a Tuesday? Like, what if you get addicted to it?
It destroys lives. I mean, I had a best friend years ago, and he denied it for kind of 2 or 3 years because I'd seen the change in him. But it ended up it destroyed our relationship together, and it destroyed his life. Now, thankfully, he got himself back together again. He gave it up and got himself back together again. But what I'm saying to you is, it destroys lives.
Especially if you're going off denying it. Like, if you're not ashamed of something and you're not able to share it with your partner, then you obviously know that you're doing something wrong. And if you think that your partner is going to disagree with it as well, I'm not saying that, you should be a slave to your partner or anything like that, but if you're with someone and they're like, that they don't like it and you've been keeping it from them, you obviously know they don't like it, or else you'd be telling them. And anyway, I'm not promoting anyone to take drugs or anything like that. I'm kind of like, I'll tell you, I'm on the fence. I don't like telling people what to do, but I'd be asking people that I know.
Well, okay, but let me turn the tables on you slightly. Let's say you found out that your husband was taking cocaine.
Okay, I'll pretend that he doesn't, like, despite it.
I know it's probably the least likely thing to happen because you spoke already about how he's appalled even by the suggestion. But let's say you found out that he was taking cocaine. How would you feel?
I think I'd be worried. I can't say I wouldn't be worried. I'd be worried because, you know, I don't know how it would affect him. I'd be worried. And if he was telling me, oh, sure, it's fine, you know, I'd be worried, and I'd be having a conversation with him. Do I think I would leave him? Not off the bat. I don't think. I'm kind of more of a supportive kind of person. I'd be.
But would you be insisting that he gives it up? Would you be insisting he gives it up for you to stick with him?
I would be asking him not to.
Yes.
I would be asking him not to do it, honestly. I'd just be like, please don't. You don't know how it's going to affect you. You don't know if you took it, you got into an argument with a lad or a woman outside of the house and you got a crack and you fell on the ground. Or, you don't know what's going to happen when you're on that.
Okay, well, hang on for a second. Let me just go to Cathal as well. Cathal, you're on Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. How you doing, Cathal?
Hi, how are you?
Okay, now I'm looking at my screen, Cathal, and you're starting to sound like Monica and Alice, and I haven't even spoken to you yet, but your argument is who cares?
Yeah, obviously, who cares?
Well, a lot of people care because it's a drug. It's a Class A drug, and it's addictive.
No, okay. Look at this. If it doesn't affect anybody else, then.
But it does affect. Oh, just stop out of that. It does affect other people. Of course, it does. Hold on. If you've got a family member or a husband or a wife or a brother on drugs, of course it has a knock-on effect on other people.
Okay.
Because their behaviour changes. Same as an alcoholic or anybody else that's taking a drug of any description. Would you not agree?
Are we talking about cocaine addiction or cocaine use? Because there's a big difference.
Oh, right. Okay. So you can use it without being addicted, can you?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Do you use it yourself?
Yes, you can.
Do you use it?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I did about 20 years ago.
Well, I don't even remember it being popular 20 years ago when I was younger. But anyway, I know very few people who take cocaine who are not addicted to it. They might not know they're addicted to it, but as soon as they try to stop using it, then they'll realise they're addicted to it. It's like alcohol or any other addiction, or any cigarette smoking or anything else, coffee drinking even.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's not the same as those. I'm saying it's like any addiction. You don't realise you're addicted until you have to stop. The difference with cocaine is it changes your behaviour. Coffee doesn't change your behaviour. Smoking doesn't change your behaviour. Alcohol can, of course, and we're all well aware of what alcoholics are like.
Yep.
But I wouldn't be happy if I found out that my wife was taking cocaine. Not that she ever would. She's never taken drugs in her life. Would you be okay, Cathal, if you had a partner who's taking drugs?
I would know straight away.
Yeah, but would you be happy about it? That's not what I asked you. Would you be happy?
To be honest, I would say it would depend on how she reacted with it. If that makes sense.
I have never come across somebody who's reacted well taking cocaine. Their personality changes.
If you take it constantly. Some people take cocaine maybe once or twice a month.
Okay.
I haven't touched it in...
okay, Kathy, do you think cocaine can be taken for recreational purposes every now and again? Have you ever heard of that?
I do know people who take it recreationally, as in like they do it for kind of escapism and stuff like that, and to kind of get out of their mind. But like I say, those people, I don't know if I'd say, is it an addiction? But it, like my friend.
Well, all drugs are addictive. That's why they're called drugs.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, like she would say that she's not, but then she'd be like, "I'm going out and I'm going to have some."
Yeah,
I don't
that's
need
denial, isn't it? Delusional. Because if you say you're not addicted to it, and then you say, "Well, okay, give it up," so. You know, and then they can't. Well, I'm sorry for interrupting you because I'm very short on time and I need to go to Siobhan before the break. Siobhan, you're on Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. How are you doing, Siobhan?
Oh, you've done it again, Niall. You've got me on right there.
I know, and I've only 2 minutes. I'm sorry, Siobhan. I do apologise. We might as well just have a laugh for the 2 minutes.
And you know you will, of course. Right, what's your question?
Siobhan, if you found out your partner was snorting coke behind your back and never told you, would you dump him?
Would I dump him? Do you know, you probably wouldn't, because it's all those emotions. You probably live together, blah, blah, blah. But you should. You know, you really should, because they're just taking a piss, aren't they, with your family money, and maybe it's affecting other areas of their life. Maybe, you know, their job is being affected or something like that. I don't think I'd instantly, you know, put them on the end of my boot and get out that door. But I think if she's hiding it, then she's obviously ashamed of it, maybe. And I would start with a conversation.
Well, she obviously believes he doesn't agree. He wouldn't. Well, she obviously believes he wouldn't agree with it if she's hiding it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah. I wouldn't like to be with somebody that had to snort something up their nose to have a good night out. That would turn me off them instantly, I think. And I wouldn't want to be involved with anybody like that, really.
Now, real people, real opinions. Nighttime Talk with Niall Boylan.
Ireland's classic hits radio.